everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, pretty much what I'm doing is like a step-by-step talk through, more so like an instructional video rather than like one of me talking pure all the time. So pretty much I just break through every single step to do with this eye look. So it is a half cut crease look, so I really do go into detail about what brushes I'm using, the techniques that I'm using, why I'm doing it, and you'll just see how I achieve this eye look right here. So I did include my base, but it is sped up because I did want to just solely focus on the eyes and make sure that the eye part was super detailed for you all. Please thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it, guys, and comment down below and let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you want me to do any more of these oh my god. So definitely comment down below, guys, and let me know if you want me to do any more sort of detailed, informative tutorials like this. And also, guys, please hit the little subscribe button down below. I love yous, and I'll see you in a little second.
You turn toward me and look so weak. I've never seen you with such tired eyes. And everything we said we'd be, we just traded for a suit coat and a tie. This time we got out. Run underneath the rows of trees, I will see you where the ocean meets the sky. Under your toes, the fire grows. You are ready for a different kind of life.
Okay, so now that I have my base and my brows and my lips and everything on, my eyes are just completely blank, just ready to get started with this video, so I'm so excited, oh my god. Okay, so the very first step of getting a gorgeous eyeshadow and everything is getting your base down, so like your primer, your base products and everything like that. So the base that I use is actually the PLOUISE eyeshadow base, and I'm sure everybody who's watching this video, obviously if you enjoy makeup, you've probably already heard about this base, but it definitely is a total game changer. If you're really into makeup or a makeup artist, this is a total must-have. Like, I have so many of these at home in the studio and everything, just because they're an essential whenever you're doing your eyeshadow for it to look proper gorgeous and for the blending and everything to work so seamlessly. It's really important that you invest in a really good base, and this one is just loved by so many people. Not sponsored, but I just love this PLOUISE base so much. If you are unable to get this eyeshadow base, before I use this, I just used to use the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, and I feel like they do work quite similar, but this base in particular, the PLOUISE one, just works that little bit better, and it just, oh my god, it's just amazing. You guys need to try it. If you haven't tried it already, just get it, and I swear you will thank me later. It's just amazing. So what I'm going to do is use this base to carve out around my eyebrows, to get my eyebrows and everything to sit really neat, and then whatever's left I'm going to drag some extra onto my eyelid and around this area just to prime my whole lid area space, so that whenever I go in with my eyeshadow I just have a blank canvas ready to get started with my eyeshadow. I'm taking this PLOUISE brush just to carve them out, and then I'm going to take my little fluffy angled brush from my makeup brush collection and just use this one to blend that out. So I'm going to take this brush and place it underneath my brow and go right along to the very tail end of my eyebrow to carve them out, and then whatever's left in the brush I'm going to drag it down and pat it down to set it in place.
Like you were young again.
So now that I have my brow and everything carved out, I'm going to take whatever's left in the brush and just take it over the entire eyelid, just to make sure everywhere is totally primed and that there's a gorgeous base down, so that we have a blank canvas for our eyeshadow to stick to. And then whenever you have it all placed down like that, what you can do is take your wee fluffy blending brush, and again, just wee pressing motions to press this in. You never want to swipe it, because if you swipe it, you're just going to add friction and heat and then take off the product. So it's always good to get it placed down with the likes of like your flat brush like this, and then you can use your wee fluffy brush to then pat it down and blend it in. So the palette that we're going to use today is the Jeffree Star Alien palette, and I think I'm going to go towards like the greens sort of colour spectrum here, so like these kind of colours along this side, more so rather than this side. So if you guys want me to do a video with these colours, definitely let me know, but I feel like I'm going to gravitate towards these kind of colours here because they're just more my vibe, totally. So okay, so if you're ever curious on what brushes to apply and blend your eyeshadow with, I always take a sort of fluffy brush like this to apply and blend my eyeshadow. So this is the kind of stand-up brush that I use, and I feel like works best for whenever you're applying your shadow and then also blending. These brushes here are the Zoeva 227s. Pretty much what I'll do is I'll take a brush per colour, so anytime I change colour I'll take a brand new brush, just because you don't want your colours mixing and then creating wee random colours and then it just ends up looking so messy. So anytime you ever change your colour, always change your brush, but I always stick to this same sort of style of brush when applying and blending my shadows. And if you're wondering, I do the reverse blending technique, so instead of starting with your lightest transitional colour, I start with my darkest and work up the way and then back down, rather than your transitional up and then down, if you know what I mean. Like, so I start with the darkest, back up and then back down again, but you'll see it'll start to make more sense as you continue watching the video. What I'm doing is just taking my Zoeva 227 and getting a good bit of product onto the base of my brush here. As you can see, it's picked up a good bit of product. Always tap off your excess, because you never want a big massive like burst of product and then it's going to wreck your foundation and everything else. So if you haven't did your base first, don't really bother by tapping it off, because you're better off with the extra pigment and then you can wipe away your fallout. But if you have done your base, always tap off your excess, because it's just going to be too risky. Put on your eyeshadow and then hoping that your fallout will come off okay. Most of the time it always clings to your foundation anyway, even if you have set, especially with more darker colours like this. So always remember, if you have your base done, a couple of wee taps just to get off your excess product. So with this, I'm going to just pat down my brush, wiggle, pat, wiggle, and that's just the way I do things. So pat, wiggle, pat, wiggle, pat, wiggle. You'll see, so I'll do a wee pat motion, kind of wiggle it about just to get the pigment transferred on there, and just constantly keep pressing it in just so you get that really strong pigment. You just pat it down and then wiggle your wee brush just so you get into all the little creases and everything in the eye too. Okay, so then whenever you have this colour all placed down in the area that you want it to go, what I'm going to do is just clean off the brush that I was using. So literally just use a towel or your pyjama bottoms like what I'm doing, and just swish your brush around a couple of times and then use that same brush to blend out our little line. And to blend this out, I'm just using the very tip of my brush and just wee light touches around the very edge of that eyeshadow there. We're not wanting to blend the whole thing, because we're only wanting to blend this line, because if you blend through the whole thing, the product's just going to come back off and then you'll have to go back in and reapply it. So what we're going to do is just place the tip of the brush on the line that we want to blend, and then it'll start softening it out. So literally just going back and forth on that wee line there to blend that. So just going in with a brand new clean fluffy brush and picking up this green shade here. And what I'm going to do is just buff that along the edge of that dark colour. Very, very light pressure. You don't need a lot of pressure. So just skim this across the top of that darker green shade. And I constantly keep going in and adding more of my brush just so that the pigment shows up. Because if you just use, like, dip your brush in one time and then rely on that full product to get the whole way across, it'll just be like a really light green colour. But to ensure that you get that colour that you really want that's in that palette, you really need to constantly keep going in and adding more product onto your brush and just get that product packed on so that the pigment's really, really, really strong. Just being very gentle, because you don't want this colour to go right up to the very brow bone, because we are going to apply like a yellowy colour along here just to add a wee bit more dimension and just quality into the eye makeup. I feel like the more colours you can get on, the more colours that look so nicely blended, add so much more quality of look rather than having just one shade. Obviously if you're going for a look that includes one shade, that's decent enough, you know, that's good. But if you're doing something like a half cut crease where you're wanting to include so many colours, I feel like it's really important to place your colours quite low down so that you do leave yourself with enough room to add your third colour in, especially if your client has small eye space. Like myself, I don't have a lot of eye space, so I need to be really controlled where I'm placing my colour so that I do leave myself with enough room for my third colour to go. I hope that makes sense. Oh my god. So again, just back and forth on this little edge to blend that just on the line rather than the whole entire portion of that green colour. So you're just placing the brush on the very edge here. So taking a brand new brush, brand new colour, and I'm going to go in with this yellowy orangey colour around the very edges of that green colour. So this yellow colour is just going to go around the very edge of that light sort of green. So this is our first dark green, that's our light green, and now we're applying the yellowy orange colour around the very edges to kind of make it look a little bit more smoky and to incorporate another colour into it. So now that we have the three colours placed down, so we've got the yellow, we've got the light green, and then we have the dark green, what I'm going to do is go back in with some more of that light green, pat it on, blend it, and then do the exact same with the dark green, pat it on and blend it again, just to make that colour even stronger, just so we can see exactly what colours we have going on, but at the same time you still want to blend them so that it all looks like one complete look and you don't want to see any harsh lines or edges at all. Like I said, going back in with some more of that lighter green and just building that back up, so just going through exactly where you placed it before, and then clean off the brush, and then you can start blending those edges again. If you feel like you need to go back onto your yellow brush just to kind of blend yellow into the green a wee bit more, then just switch your brush to the brush that you use for the yellow. You never want to mix your brushes with your different colours. And finally going back in with that dark greeny grey sort of colour and just packing that right on again just to make that super intense. Okay, so now that our three stages of blending are done, so we've got the dark colour, we've got the light green, and then we have the sort of light yellowy orangey colour around the very edges. Now what we're going to do is go back in with that carving brush that we use, the same brush that we used to apply the base and carve our brows, and then we're also going to take a little little bit more of this PLOUISE eyeshadow base. With these two products, what we're going to do is stamp out where we want our cut crease to go. And also guys, a little tip as well that I always say to my students and stuff whenever I teach is that whenever you are doing a half cut crease or a spotlight eye or any sort of detail work to the eye area, I always stamp it on with the very tip of the brush first and sketch out where I want it to go. So for example, I'll do like a wee practice run on my hand here. What I'll do is use the very tip of the brush to create my shape first, so that means then if it's too low or if it's too high, I only have a wee line to work with that I can remove. Whereas if you go in with your brush like flat down and place it down, if you take that up too high, it's going to be so much harder to remove all this extra product. Whereas if you start off with a wee line and then you're happy with it, then you can continue on to fill in the rest of it. Hopefully that makes sense. Whenever you are doing a half cut crease, it's always really effective to go a little bit more above your actual crease, just so that whenever you look straight ahead, you can see all the detail and stuff. Whereas if you actually put it where your actual crease is, whenever you look straight ahead, you're not going to see all that detail that you've spent doing, and it's just going to look like a normal smoky eye until you look down. Whereas whenever you do a half cut crease, ideally you want to be able to see all the work from just looking straight ahead. So you're going to want to obviously bring your lines up slightly higher, so you can see all your work and all your detail and time and effort that you've just put in, because I know that half cut creases can take like forever, because obviously if you do one and you've rushed it, you can really tell. Whereas if you sit down, take your time, most likely it's going to look bomb. So my voice, actually my throat's been a bit sore recently, so hopefully I'm not getting a sore throat, because I feel like it was going a bit there, so hopefully oh my god, no. So you always want to make sure you do your actual cut crease a little bit higher than where your natural crease is. Like I said, I am going to go up slightly higher to where my natural crease is. My natural crease is like right here, so I'm going to go up a little bit above that and just continue round with that nice rounded shape. Then when you have your shape carved out, what you can do is take some extra product and just fill in halfway across your eyelid. Then you just want to go in with a clean brush just to pat that down and take away any excess product, because if you don't, it means then whenever you put your pigments on, it'll just become really creamy and like mix with that excess product. So it's really important that whenever you put down this base, you do tap off any excess so that it's nice and smooth for whenever you apply your glitter or pigment or whatever you want to do. So now that I have tapped down all the excess of that eyeshadow base, what I'm going to do is go back into the eyeshadow palette and take the shade Pluto here. And what I'm going to do is use this shade for my inner corner highlight and to kind of pack down under the first third of where we put that eyeshadow base. So now that I have that colour placed down, what I'm going to do is move on to the Peaches and Cream pigment in the shade Pool Party, and this is like the most stunning colour I've ever seen. I've been dying to try this on myself. I've used it on my clients and it looks amazing, so I cannot wait to see what this is like on me, because I'm just dying. Like, it literally looks amazing. Like, I normally love pinky sort of colours, but whenever I seen this, I was like, holy crap. You guys can see that, but it's like a blue with like a goldy green reflex through it, so it's going to suit this look down to a T. I cannot wait to use it. So I'm taking this Weeva Luxe Grand shader brush, and I'm using this just to really place this on and really pack it on so that it really sticks to that base and becomes nice and pigmented and shimmery looking. I'm only putting this shade in the centre. I'm not bringing it over onto this matte colour, because I am going to take that dark green sort of colour and blend it back into this colour. I'm then going to go back into that dark green shade that we used at the very start. I'm just taking that on that same Weeva brush as well. And with this, I'm going to just push this in against that pigment just so that we get a nice blend between the shimmery colour and the matte shade.
Follow me down, there's no one around.
Then I'm going to go in with a little small pencil brush. This one's just from Peaches and Cream. It's the PC07 brush. And again, just going back in with that dark sort of greeny grey sort of colour again. And with this, I'm going to smoke this along the lower lash line area just to add a wee bit more darkness into the... Then I'm going to go back in with that same green colour that we used on a wee small, this is actually a Crown C528 brush, and I love this wee brush for like smoking colours out on the lower lash line. What I'm going to do with this is just put this underneath that dark sort of greeny colour and just blend it down a wee bit. So then you can go back in with some more of that yellow colour on that same brush that we used before and just smoke this under the very bottom and kind of connect your outer edge round. So I'm going to smoke it around the top, around the edge, and also connect the bottom in with it as well. I'm then going to go in with that Pluto shade again and put it into my inner corner just to intensify and brighten that area as well. The lashes that I'm taking today is these Style Expose, and these are from my brand, but these are just the plain packaging that they come in, but whenever you buy them, obviously they come in like my normal usual packaging, but these are just the ones that I use at home because there's no point in me paying for like the extra box and that. whenever I'm just going to throw it out in the bin. So now I'm just going to take a little bit of mascara just to blend my natural lashes in with the wee false ones. Sometimes if you put your lashes on and you can see a wee bit of glue, I would normally just go over a wee bit of black gel liner or a wee bit of the darkest eyeshadow shade and just kind of pat it down if you can't see it. If you can't see it, I normally just go straight in with some mascara, because I feel like spend so much time doing all your cut creasing work and everything else, and I feel like it's just so sad to go in with like a big thick black line of liner. And you know, I think it looks so much prettier whenever you've just got your lashes and then you have your eye look just sitting ready to go. I think that's just so much nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off this eye off camera, and then I'll be back to show you the finished eye makeup look and everything else. Okay, so I really do hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I cannot remember the last time I actually sat here with like a full glam, apart from the time I did like that yellow sort of look. Like that was about 2 months ago now, but it feels so weird to be all glam again. It feels amazing. Oh my god. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts, and if you want to see any more, and please hit that subscribe button and also the little notification bell beside it so you do get notified whenever I do upload. I love yous all, guys, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.